This is Wild Chronicles.
This might seem like a barren landscape, but it's a great place to make history. It hides riches beyond imagining. This is Ethiopia's Rift Valley. And this is Zerai Alamzeged, a local, one of the emerging generation of Ethiopian paleoanthropologists.
Yeah, it's fun. Sometimes hot, so it's tiring, but it's really fun. Particularly if you're finding stuff, you forget all about the temperature.
This is forbidding land, but well known to the scientific world. One of the most famous sets of fossils ever discovered was found just across this valley. In 1974, scientists found Lucy, a hominid species that walked the earth over 3 million years ago. Back then, this was very different country, but Zerai can see it.
But if you imagine this 3 or 4 million years ago, it was covered with forests, lakes, and rivers everywhere. So the environmental context was so different.
Lucy belonged to a family of human-like apes called Australopithecus afarensis. Lucy's body, brain, and skull were very similar to a chimpanzee's. But she also had some human traits. The bones of her pelvis, leg, and knee showed that she walked upright. There are bones all over this valley. That's why Zerai has been coming here for nearly a decade. But in 2000, he found what he had been looking for: bones. A nearly complete skull, tiny, no bigger than a softball.
We're just walking by, surveying, and we spotted it right at this place, and it was visible. We used brushes to clean it off, and it probably comes from that cliff of sand you see just in front of me.
Zerai soon realized he had hit pay dirt.
We were very excited, and we were really impressed about its completeness, because you normally found these fossils and they're fragments of bones or skull, but finding the endocuss, the mandible, and at least 14 vertebrae were really impressive.
Zerai had the skull of an Australopithecus like Lucy, as complete a set as anyone has ever found. But there was more. Zerai soon realized that it wasn't just the completeness of the body that was surprising, but the age as well.
It's the earliest and the most complete child ever found. Most of the fossils we found are adult specimens, but this one is a juvenile, a young individual, and it will give us new insights into how these babies look like 3.4 million years ago.
A baby, a 3-year-old baby, and here she is. This little girl was still nursing when she died. She's cute, but doesn't look any more human than a chimpanzee, until you start to get into the details. Chris Sloan wrote the story of this little baby for National Geographic magazine. He calls it Lucy's Child.
Now, from the waist down, the Dakika baby is like other Australopithecus afarensis specimens, quite like us.
Zerai is still coming to the site, and he continues to find new fossils. Today, he finds a piece of bone that could be a part of his baby's pelvis.
And we have over 50 bags of fragments, pieces of bone, which were recovered from this hillside. So, since the other piece, which might join this piece, could be in one of those bags. So we go back to camp at noon and then go through all the bags and find a match for the piece we just found.
This is why this job gets a bad name. It's grueling work, collecting the loose dirt, sifting, and then examining the tiny pieces of rock one by one. It doesn't look very thrilling until Zariah explains why he does it.
I think it can be more exciting than trying to understand where your ancestors were living and which kind of animals were associated with. So in short, it's in search of our past, our origins, and I think it's worth doing and it's exciting.
And it's hard not to get excited along with him when you see this little baby. The questions are inevitable. Did her mother grieve for her when she died? Did she hold her baby like we hold ours? We're seeing to it. Did she love it? Zariah doesn't have any answers, but he'll keep looking.
Check for Wild Chronicles on your local PBS station.
Sponsored by National Geographic Mission Programs, taking science and exploration into the new millennium.